It started with a knock at the door. Not a warning, not a negotiation, a knock. A Cherokee mother opens the door to see armed soldiers standing outside her home. Behind them, smoke rises in the distance. Wagons creak through the mud. Children cry somewhere beyond the trees, and then the order comes. Leave. No time to pack your life. No time to protect your land. No time to say goodbye to the graves of your ancestors. Just leave, because the government of the United States had decided that this land no longer belonged to the people who had lived on it for generations, but to understand how thousands of Native Americans would eventually die on a forced march known as the Trail of Tears. You first have to understand what was stolen from them, because this story did not begin with war. It began with land, beautiful land, rich forests stretching for miles, rivers cutting through mountains, fertile soil capable of growing enormous amounts of cotton and crops, to white settlers moving across America in the early 1800s. This land looked like opportunity, but to Native nations like the Cherokee Nation, the Muskogee Creek Nation, the Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole, it was something far more important. It was home. Their ancestors had lived there long before the United States even existed. Every river carried stories. Every mountain carried memory. And despite what many people today were taught in school, these nations were not wandering tribes, living without structure or civilization. In reality, many were becoming some of the most politically organized societies in North America. The Cherokee Nation had courts, a written constitution, schools, laws, farms, businesses. Some Cherokee families lived in large wooden homes and operated successful plantations. Many spoke English fluently, and then something remarkable happened. In 1821, a Cherokee scholar named Sequoyah created a writing system for the Cherokee language. Within only a few years, thousands of Cherokee people learned to read and write. Soon after, the Cherokee Nation launched its own newspaper, the Cherokee Phoenix, printed in both English and Cherokee. Think about that for a moment. At a time when large numbers of Americans on the frontier were still illiterate, Native nations were publishing newspapers and building constitutional governments, and many Native leaders believed this would protect them. They believed that if they adapted to the changing world around them, if they proved that they could coexist with the United States, they would be allowed to stay. But they misunderstood something terrifying. For many powerful Americans, this was never really about civilization. It was about land, and the more successful Native nations became, the more dangerous they appeared, because their success destroyed the lies used to justify taking their territory. How could politicians plain Native Americans were incapable of governing themselves? When they had functioning governments, how could settlers call them uncivilized? When they had schools, laws, and newspapers, the truth was becoming impossible to ignore. These were nations, and they stood directly in the way of American expansion. By the 1820s, America was growing fast. Cotton had become one of the most profitable industries in the world. Southern plantation owners wanted more farmland. Settlers wanted more territory. States like Georgia wanted complete control over native lands inside their borders. Pressure grew every year. White settlers illegally entered native territory. Local governments passed laws targeting native sovereignty. Violence increased. Promises were broken. Still, many native leaders trusted treaties signed with the United States government. After all, treaties were supposed to mean something. The government had signed them again and again and again, but those promises were only valuable until something more valuable was discovered: gold. In 1828, gold was found in Georgia, near Cherokee land, and suddenly everything changed. Thousands of prospectors flooded into the region searching for wealth. Newspapers exploded with excitement. Settlers demanded access to native land. Politicians began calling for removal, not coexistence, not compromise, removal. And then a man entered the White House who believed Native Americans should be pushed out of the South entirely. A war hero, a populist, a man feared by his enemies and loved by his supporters. His name was Andrew Jackson, and under his presidency, the fate of entire Native nations would begin to unravel, because in the next chapter, America wouldn't just want the land anymore, it would decide to take it.